Hello, this is Anne Marie, and it's TipTop Tuesday, and it's January 16th, 2018. I'm a few minutes late. My connections, I was having technical problems again. Couldn't on the room I usually do my video. So I'm going to invite some friends and see if they're around. Hi, Shar. I'm glad you're around. So I was a few minutes late because I couldn't get up from where I usually do, so I'm shooting from my dining room, living room area. So the topic for TipTop today is water. I've been thinking a lot about it in how we disconnect from water in some ways, and I wanted to kind of talk about that. So I first thought just talking about general water. And water, this is like spring water. People drink that. They often get bottled water, spring water. They like that. This is distilled water. Sometimes they use that because they don't want any kind of minerals or anything in it, and it calls for that. Good morning. Anyway, so that's distilled water. And then we have tap water. Now, tap water is different depending on where you live, chemicals they put in it, or the things they take out of it. In the Northwest, we have soft water, and what that means is the soft water is not so good for teeth, which is why they added fluoride a long time ago, which has caused controversy. That's just aside. There's also hard water, which is mineral water. So you will see that in places where the toilets get kind of an iron, yellow, orange, and that has different minerals. So when we think about water, we kind of think about fresh water as all-inclusive, when in fact it's got lots of little different ways of doing things. And well water is considered spring water for the most part because it's underground. I'm going to have a little bit of water here. I think that I wanted to talk more about the properties of water. Now, I know some people, there was a Japanese man who wrote a book about the energy of water. What I want to talk about first is how we're acquainting ourselves with water. We drink water, and according to this article, and I'll post it down below, this is a government study, women are made up of 55% water, and men have a higher rate, like 60%. And some animals have like 90%, but I was surprised it was 55 to 60. I was under the impression that we were more water than that. But as you know, water is needed for all vital parts of our bodies, including the bones. Can't live without water after a bit. So if that's true, if we are one with water, because we are part water, we're 55% water, then water is basically one of our relatives, for want of a better term. And it occurs to me that what we do is we treat water like it's somebody that works for us. Oh, I think I need some water, right? I'm particularly interested in this, in how when there's flooding or things like that, it's all about the water doing something to us rather than us being part of the water. So I thought the next step would be to encourage people to microwave a glass of water. I would use a mug, but you put the mug in the microwave and you microwave it, and then you take it out and you taste it. It's a good idea to taste it before, too. You will notice that the difference between a fresh glass of water. Hi, Susan. A fresh glass of water. It's nice to have you here. It's a fresh glass. We're talking about water in general right now. And one of the things is how women are, according to government study, 55% water, and men are 60%. So moving forward, I'm talking about how when you microwave water, everything dies. It's really flat. And then when you have the fresh water, it just feels differently. So what to do about that? Sometimes for convenience, I do use microwave. I don't usually microwave my water, but I do use my microwave. So what I have found to help it is, and I think I've talked about this in another session, is how you could run energy. You put your hands out and you practice, and you run energy back and forth from your hands. Okay, when you do that, you can start to feel that. You can still take that same energy. You take your cup, and I'm just going to hold it so people can sing. And you run energy on the cup. I particularly like to do this with microwave water, because when you take microwave water and it's so flat, and then you send healing energy back to it, it livens it up. It makes a big difference. So I was raised in a tradition where we prayed on our food, or before we ate, and we blessed the food. It occurs to me that that was really a grand idea, because one, you were acknowledging the food, the water, and you were also blessing it, which raised the vibration. So when you were eating the food, there was just this natural connection with the spiritualness of the connection, for want of a better term, I guess. My goal in talking about water today is to remind all of us about how beneficial water is and how much it's a team player. I've noticed that people that what I consider salt of the earth, that are connected with the earth, are also often connected with the water. So they will recognize that different aspects are going to happen. For instance, when you cut all the trees down that used to soak up the water, where's that water going to go? And it seems like there's this disconnect with knowing that when you do that, the water's going to get saturated into the land, and there could be a slide. This exercise is to remind us of our connectiveness with water. It's just that simple. That we don't have to make it complicated. We just have to recognize that we, as 50 women, because mostly women are on now, but sometimes men come too, 55% or 60%, according to government study in the USA, are made up of, our bodies are made up of water, right? So that makes water a relative of ours, pretty high level, in my opinion. So what I want us to do is to remember that and connect with that. I think if we start doing that, we will really understand what the water's trying to tell us and what the earth is trying to tell us. And again, it's just reconnecting, being part of the earth, not thinking the earth that we own the earth or that we own the water. Rather, the water's a relative of ours. Okay. Namaste. And if you have any questions, I don't think there's any questions. It's pretty straightforward, but you might have something you want to add, and I am going to put the link for the government study, which I found, because I'm a geeky science person in my own way, very interesting, that other people might enjoy it also. And I'm going to say have a tremendous Tuesday and a dazzle of a day, and see you next week. Also, I am going to be doing an offering that I will post later, not on this TipTop, about doing some space clearing for people at a bargain rate for the beginning of the new year. So anyway, bye. Take care and see you next week. Okay.